I have the best job in the company. I'm like a kid in a candy shop. So many design options, so many different products. It's something I'm very passionate about.
It's always amazing to me, the human ingenuity of figuring out how to continue to grow and expand the limits of these products. 10 to 15 years ago, there's no way we could consider that we would have an 18-foot tall glass panel, but here we are in 2025, and this is what you're showing at Glass Build.
You make a great point. And what makes us unique versus a lot of our competitors is our vertical integration. We like to say we're our own supply chain, and we deliver that product at a very competitive price point.
Welcome to the Grit Blueprint Podcast, the playbook for building unmistakable brands that grow, lead, and last in the built world. I'm Stephanie Couch, the founder of Grit Blueprint, and I'm a lifelong building industry insider. I was raised here, built my career here, and now my team and I help others win here. The truth is, you can be the best option in your space and still lose to someone else who simply shows up better and more consistently. Each week on the Grit Blueprint, I'm going to show you how to stand out, earn trust, and turn your brand into a competitive advantage that lasts. If you're ready to be seen, known, chosen, and become unmistakable, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
We are here today on site in Miami, Florida, and I am here at ES. We are in person with Jack Redden. Behind the Build is happening live. We are showcasing your amazing showroom here behind us. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to this. Thank you.
Yeah, and you are actually the sales leader here in Florida. So tell me a little bit about you. You've been in the industry a long time. You're a pro on the sales side for commercial and residential products. Tell me about Jack and what you're doing here at ES.
So my name's Jack Redden. I'm the Director of Architectural Sales for ES Windows. I've been in the industry 30 years, which is a polite way of saying I'm getting old. I've been with ES now about 3 years. I'm based in Orlando, but I do cover the entire state of Florida in a business development capacity for ES and all of our lovely brands that we have here. So on a personal note, outside of working hard, I like to play hard with my family and power watch Netflix and travel and all that kind of fun stuff.
Well, you were telling us earlier, you actually have 4 daughters.
I do. The baby is soon to be 12, and my oldest one is 28 and living in Boston.
Well, my dad had 3 daughters. I can't imagine adding a 4th. You're quite outnumbered, and you even have a female dog.
I do. Our little Shih Tzu, who's 5 going on 6. She's the apple of my wife's eye. My wife has said many times, if we're in a boat, we're all getting pushed out. She's saving the Shih Tzu. So, but
I can understand
it's
that.
me and 5 females, basically. So.
Well, that's amazing. And you are here in Florida doing a lot of cool stuff with ES. Tell me a little bit more about ES and what they are offering in their product line.
Well, the nice thing about ES Windows is just the breadth of the product offering. You mentioned commercial and residential. We play in both of those arenas quite robustly. Kind of what makes us unique versus a lot of our competitors is our vertical integration. So by that I mean, if you look at the primary components of commercial aluminum windows, you have glass and aluminum. We're vertically integrated, meaning that we actually fabricate all of our own glass in-house, and we actually extrude our own aluminum and paint them with fluoropolymer finishes up to a 20-year warranty. So we like to say we're our own supply chain, and that's crucial to our customers because it really allows us to keep our lead times incredibly consistent. It also allows us to implement some pretty aggressive quality control mechanisms to ensure that product that we're getting out into the field is of pristine quality. And then most important for our designers and construction clientele and for their client, the developers, is we deliver that product at a very competitive price point. So just a lot of different product options. I have the best job in the company. I'm like a kid in a candy shop. So many design options, so many different products, and just the ability to go out there and promote them to design and construction professionals it's something I'm very passionate about.
Yeah, and you guys have a beautiful showroom here. You have some showrooms in other places in Florida as well, and you have one in Charleston, South Carolina.
We do, getting close to your neck of the woods up there.
Yeah, for sure. And that is really a hurricane zone, so is Florida, obviously. Talk to me a little bit about your hurricane and impact products.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where we cut our teeth initially. I mean, ES was synonymous with impact windows, so going back maybe 15 years, it was primarily high-rise condos in Miami with just ridiculous design pressure requirements, structural wind load requirements. So that's kind of where ES kind of cut their teeth, and then it's kind of trickled. We've really diversified our portfolio more into residential over the last 10 to 15 years, so it's more of a balanced portfolio. But we are first and foremost an impact company. We have over 100 Miami-Dade product approvals and Florida product approvals, tested to some of the highest wind zones on the planet, quite frankly. So it's there's a lot of engineering, a lot of testing, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes on kind of behind the scenes to get these products out into the market to pass these rigorous codes.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that, because everyone in the U.S. is not aware of how strenuous the testing is for things like this hurricane ready in Florida. Those that are in Florida, it's second nature. But when I moved to Florida for a year and started selling products down here, it was really eye-opening to me. You have block wall construction, which is different than a lot of places in the U.S. And you also have a lot of high-rises and a lot of big buildings that are right on the coast. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the testing process that you guys go through. How does that work? What are the regiments that you go through to get these products to market?
Fantastic question. The Florida market is kind of unique in the United States. I mean, it really kind of all changed when Andrew came through in '92, and it really stimulated what we now know as the Florida Building Code. So part of the testing requirements for South Florida, what we call the high velocity hurricane zone, is we're literally shooting 2x4s out of air cannons at these products, which is impacting the glass. We're cycling it through 4,500 positive, 4,500 negative pressures, swings. So these windows and doors are literally breathing out in and out like iron lungs. These large panels. It's impressive, to say the least, that our design engineers can develop products to withstand 2x4s getting shot out of air cannons.
Yeah. So, and for those that have never experienced that in real life, it is one of the funnest things to see, because you don't realize how fast that's coming out. And that's really what a hurricane is like. I've seen it a few different places, and it is really fun. They haven't let me fire the cannon yet. So if you guys are interested, I would be very intrigued by that idea.
I'll tell you what, we'll make a deal. If you come down, we'll do like a David Letterman. Remember, he used to do different things. So we'll shoot watermelons. We'll do some other stuff besides 2x4s.
Okay.
We'll have some fun with it.
I'm pretty sure that I can probably make that happen. That sounds like a blast. You're dealing with a large span of different customer bases. You have a challenging market here in Florida with the hurricanes and all the weather stuff you deal with. How are you solving challenges for glazers and people out in the field that are putting in this product?
Florida's a unique market, as we've said. I mean, we were kind of fortunate after COVID. COVID was a tragedy, but the market itself became very, very white hot. Everybody was moving to Florida, and builders could not keep homes in inventory quick enough. They couldn't build them quick enough. Projects were being bought sight unseen. So it was really a seller's market. That has changed a little bit over the last couple of years, where the market has kind of stabilized that a little bit, and it's what I would call more of a stable market, not necessarily a buyer's market or a seller's market, kind of in the middle. I think the challenge with our glazing subs and our dealer base is that depending on what market sectors they cover and what segments they deal in, there has been a bit of a slowdown. Mm-hmm. So what I'm trying to encourage them to do to really mitigate any negative impacts of having all of your eggs in one basket, so to speak, is to kind of follow suit and do what ES did. 15 years ago, we were high-rise condos. That was pretty much it. Over the last 15 years, we've diversified into residential, into education projects, into healthcare projects. We've moved out of South Florida into different geographies. So I'm encouraging our dealers to not put all their eggs in one basket. So if they're tied to just new construction home builders, well, guess what? Those permits are down 11% this year. If that's where all your eggs are, potentially if you're right in the market, you'll be down 11%. So trying to get them to maybe trickle out into some R&R project work, or maybe into some light commercial work, and really just diversify their portfolio to mitigate any one sector or segment kind of drying up on them.
Yeah, it sounds like you're pretty involved in trying to help them grow their business. Tell me a little bit more about how you do that. Are you doing trainings? How are you helping them to sell more product? Yeah,
I'm a big fan of training. I think the better you know a product, the more professionally you can represent it out into the marketplace. So what we're looking to do is create folks that are what I call ES ambassadors. And that goes for whether it's a dealer that's selling our product. They certainly need to know the features and benefits and the YES pitch, if you will. But it also goes for architects who are designing and specifying products. I like to draw a parallel and a distinction between brand awareness versus brand loyalty. Here in South Florida, we have both. Everybody knows ES, and folks are loyal to ES. As you trickle kind of north and certainly out of Florida, the brand name recognition dissipates a bit. What I'm working is in Central Florida and North Florida is to really grow that brand name recognition, and kind of what follows that is that brand loyalty. So we're having some good success. We're really growing into new markets. Like I said, Central Florida has not been a historically strong market for us. We've closed several big projects this year, so our development efforts are working. It really goes down to training. So we like to train our dealers, make sure they're up to speed on the latest and greatest from ES. We also like to do a lot of what we call lunch and learns with architects. It's a big push that I've been making since I've joined ES. So over the last 3 years, I've had the pleasure of presenting over 200 architectural lunch and learns for over 3,000 attendees. These are basically CEUs, meaning that architects get continued credit for this, but we also obviously feather in some nice what's new with the ES type of thing. So these have been received very, very well. A lot of architects in Central Florida and different areas. I'll give you an example. I was just at an architect in Orlando on Tuesday for a lunch and learn. 16 architects. I always like to poll the audience, who here has heard of ES? I'm at Ziskovich in Miami with 16 architects. All 16 hands go up. Everybody in Miami knows us. In Orlando, 1 hand out of 16 went up. So there's certainly opportunities in different markets to expand our brand presence and grow that brand awareness and brand loyalty. So that's what I'm really excited about, is getting into these different markets that don't know ES as well. And I think teaching through lunch and learns, whether it's at an architect's office or with a dealer training, I'm all about education. I think education is a crucial part of how you grow your brand in a market, regardless of your audience.
Yeah, that's a great point. I love the branding initiative as a person who focuses on visibility and helps people in our industry do that. I don't think historically our industry has done a great job of that at all. I think branding and some of the things that are front-facing with B2C or direct-to-consumer, people do a good job, but especially around architects and people that more B2B presence, we do a lackluster job of that. So I love that you're really going head on at that and trying to 15 lunch and learns a month or something like that is what you said you're doing. That's an amazing pace. What would you say to young people coming into the industry that maybe aren't sure how to develop business, that are coming in with the trainings? Is there a resource, something like a National Glass Association, that you use or tell people that are glazers, people like that don't know how to sell these products? Is there a way that you tell people to learn more to grow their business?
There's a lot of different resources out there. If you're looking for targets to go, I mean, the AIA has been a great resource for networking. I'm always a fan of, whenever you're with an audience, ask them who they're working with. So if I'm with a developer, I ask them, who's your top 5 designers that you work with? If I'm with an architect, who are the top 5 developers you work with? You can build your network kind of that way. As far as actual training resources go, I mean, there's a wealth of information available online. ES, our website, even has some incredible training resources available, just a lot of technical information and data. Specific to glazing subs, I know there's some certifications. I myself have what they call a CSI CDT, so I'm a construction document technologist, which is just a fancy way of saying I know how to navigate around the different phases of a project life cycle through schematic design, through design development, through final design and CDs, et cetera. So I think that's a huge credential that not a lot of folks getting into the industry are taking advantage of. I think it really does help you understand the different phases of a product life cycle and kind of how you can support those in different ways. So there's things as a manufacturer that we can be doing in the conception phase that if you don't know what's typical of that, these feasibility studies, you can provide a lot of value add services to architects that are just looking for high level ROM budgets just to see if a project's even feasible for a developer before they invest a lot of time and energy designing something that might not pencil. Yeah,
that's a really great point, because I think a lot of times that we worry about the very last stage of the project so much and whether or not it's going to look good and all that. But it's figuring out, how do you help them from start to finish, even pre-construction, pre-drawings, that moment where it's a yes or a no based on, hey, this is 50% higher than what we have spec for budget here. It's not even a conversation for this product line, but maybe there is another application and another product that could fit. That's a huge resource for people if you're providing that. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I always like to say, engage us as early as possible. I'd rather find out in SD schematic design that we're, like you said, 50% over the budget than waiting until you're at 100% CDs when redesigns cost more money. And to your point, if we do determine that we are over the budget early on, there's a lot of things that we can bring to the table as far as value engineering ideas, and you'd be amazed. Maybe their panelized window wall, if they shrink it just 2 inches this way, we can go from an SGP interlayer to a PVB interlayer and save $10 a square foot.
Yeah.
Some of these projects are 50, 60,000 square feet. I mean, that's not a small amount of money that you're saving. So we can do these value engineering exercises and maybe approximate 95% of the design intent, but maybe shave 20% off the budget and make the project pencil. So we love to add those services throughout the process.
That's excellent. Well, I want to shift a little bit. We are both members of the National Glass Association, and let's go. We have a really exciting year coming this year because it is right in your hometown, Glass Build 2025, November 4th through the 6th in Orlando, Florida. So tell me how excited you are for Glass Build.
Extremely excited. We get excited every year. Me, personally, this year, as you alluded to, Orlando's my hometown, so the greatest city in Florida. Not that I'm biased, which I am, but it's kind of cool to have it in my hometown. I think it's a great venue. It's a great location. Obviously, it's central in the state of Florida, so we're going to get a big draw from all four corners of the state to Orlando. Obviously, a big focus on Florida products, impact-rated products. And I think we're going to get a lot of out-of-state and potentially international travel as well. Orlando's got a lot going for it. There's, maybe you've heard of Disney World and
Yes.
Universal Studios and Epic Universe now. So I'm hopeful that we'll get a lot of out-of-state and international folks coming down just to enjoy the Orlando experience, but also partake in Glass Build. So it's a fantastic opportunity for us, obviously, to showcase our latest and greatest products. We have some amazing new products that we're going to be launching at Glass Build. So the marketing team has put together an amazing booth. I saw the renders. I couldn't be more excited. And the fact that it's in Orlando is just a bonus for me.
I can't wait to come see it. Tell me a little bit about what you're expanding upon. I don't want you to give away any secrets, but what will you be showing at Glass Build that you can share with me early?
Sure. No real corporate secrets. Nothing like I don't have to do a Men in Black with the pen and make you forget about it. But so it's heavily skewed towards our commercial product offering. We have a lot of residential products in our lovely showroom here, but Glass Build is really focused more on commercial stuff. So we'll be showcasing some of our curtain wall systems, some of our window wall systems. Some of the trends we're seeing commercially as well as residentially is everybody wants larger glass panel sizes. So you're going to be seeing stuff that's 20-foot tall glass panels, just stuff like that. Our newest product that we're launching there is called our SGS, our structural glass system. So we're going to show some glass fin products with that line. I think that one is about 18 feet tall. So You're going to walk in and you're going to see a lot of very, very big window wall and curtain wall panels and structural glass panels. Just a lot of sizing capabilities and very narrow profiles, or in the case of our SGS stuff, no aluminum at all. So just maximum transparency, just inviting all this beautiful Florida sunshine into your structures that we live and work in. So, and just as an example, when you're walking through the showroom, we have some product in here that's 12 foot tall. Just imagine almost double that in height. So
it's always amazing to me, the human ingenuity of figuring out how to continue to grow and expand the limits of these products. Because I think 10 to 15 years ago, what we are doing now, it wasn't just impossible, it was unfathomable.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way we could consider that we would have an 18-foot tall glass panel. That doesn't even make sense to most people. But here we are in 2025, and this is what you're showing at Glass Build. So congratulations to all these engineers who really make that happen and
Amazing
push
team.
the limits of physics every single day.
Amazing team. Yeah, you make a great point. When I got into this industry 30 years ago, back in the mid-90s, just look at sliding glass doors. It was 8 foot tall. Then it kind of went to 10 foot tall. Now it's 12 foot tall. Maybe 40 years from now, it'll be 20 foot tall with sliding glass doors. Who knows? At some point, it's got to stop. But it really is a feat of engineering. It's amazing what our design engineers do to create these products, not only at these sizes, but to meet the ridiculous hurricane codes that we have here. At those sizes with narrow or no aluminum profiles, it's mind-boggling. So
it definitely needs to be pointed out as a bullet point. We're not just doing this in the industry with the size, but with hurricane-rated impact glass that can withstand a 2x4 getting shot at it at a few hundred miles an hour. So it's really crazy how this works. And kudos again to the industry for continuing to push. I do want to ask you again another question about NGA and National Glass Association. You've been in this industry a long time. You've seen a lot of things. What does an organization like the NGA bring to our industry that's helpful for you and the next generation?
I think there's a lot of educational tools, and I think just the ability to, Glassville's a great example. I'm a big fan of trade shows. I think anytime you can get an audience of potential project influencers together to launch new products, it's invaluable. I mean, it's priceless, the exposure that you can get. So, I mean, I'm not sure how many folks will be coming through Atlanta, but I'm sure it's going to be north of 1,000, 2,000, who knows? Maybe you know what the data is.
It's a lot. I think last year was
touches.
over 8,000 people at Glassville.
Yeah, so I mean, how do you put a value on that? 8,000 potential new clients seeing your product. So I think just the exposure to that many industry professionals in one spot, it's priceless. So I mean, I think NGA brings a lot to the table as far as educational resources, trade show and networking opportunities, stuff of that nature.
Yeah, I love that. Well, last question for you, Jack. You have been in this industry over 30 years. You have a very vocal voice. You do a lot of things with the industry speaking, and you're helping the next generation of glazers to sell more product and be better glazers and in the market. What excites you the most coming into 2025, going into 2026? What are you the most excited about?
Specific to work, or are we talking poker, World Series of Poker? No, I'm joking. I'm excited about a lot moving into the back half of 2025 and into 2026. We mentioned some of the new products, but I guess if I had to put it into a single word, what I'm excited about is just expansion. And by expansion, from a product standpoint, we continue to expand our portfolio of products and options. From a networking standpoint, we continue to bring on new dealers. We continue to network with new developers, architects, GC builders. So we're just expanding our network as well. And at the end of the day, it's all about expanding market share. And that's really, we've done an incredible job over the last 15 years of diversifying that portfolio and getting into new markets that we wouldn't even have thought about 15 years ago. We're doing condo renovations in Naples. We're doing new construction hotels in Orlando. We're doing hospitals in the Panhandle. We're doing all these different sectors, new construction, retro. It's a very healthy portfolio. So I guess I'm just really excited that ES is so healthy right now. It's just a stable company, financially stable, and just an incredible backlog. We just had a record-setting backlog announced at our earnings call of $1.2 billion in projects. So that speaks volumes for what 2026 and beyond looks like for us. So it's a healthy pipeline of opportunities, and I think it's not by coincidence that that's on the heels of us doing all this developmental efforts with developers, GCs, and architects, and all these lunch and learns. It's really helped to build that very robust pipeline.
That's amazing. 1.2 billion, that's impressive. Well, speaking of money and winnings, let's talk about a little fun fact about you. You actually are a world-class World Series of Poker Texas Hold'em player. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's funny, and thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, it's one of my passions outside of work. Is one of my hobbies is going to the World Series of Poker every year with my best buddies and my brother. So this is 5 years in a row now that we've went out there. So I've cashed in 8 different events over those 5 years. So I will blame my grandmother, who was actually a bad influence on me in my childhood. So I used to play penny poker with her and my uncles. She was an old Italian mother, but I used to let her win until I became a little devious as a teenager. Then I started taking her money, and she got mad and stopped playing with me. But so I've been playing poker since I was before I could read, honestly. So I've always had a passion for poker. The World Series of Poker is it's something I look forward to every year. Typically, my wife and kids will go out with me. They spend time shopping and having fun and doing their thing, and Daddy's at the poker table for 12 hours a day trying to win the $1 million. So we haven't hit the $1 million one yet, but we've had some deep cashes and deep runs. So we'll see what 2026 holds.
That's incredible. And when is the 2026 event?
It's a 6-week series, so it usually starts right after Memorial Day through like mid-July. So
Okay,
I
very
usually
cool.
go out there for a week or two. So.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, you did surprise me with the where did you learn and get inspired to be a poker player with your grandmother. So I didn't see that one coming. So that's always a lovely surprise to learn that she's the one that taught you. But if you win the $1 million, it'll be in her honor. So she'll be smiling down proud for you.
100%, yes.
All the luck, right? That's amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. It's always fun to see, we work a lot and we all have these amazing professional careers, but there's so much more. Your daughters, your wife, your Shih Tzu that your wife loves more than maybe you and the kids,
More than like
and
myself, yeah.
your Netflix and poker playing. We all have so much amazing things in the stories of who we actually are beyond the windows and the doors, even though we love them so much. So thank you for sharing that with me.
My pleasure, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come and look at our showroom, and looking forward to Glass Build. So
Absolutely.
Thanks again
Well,
for
we
your
will
time.
see you in Orlando, right in your backyard. And if you aren't planning to come to Glass Build, you cannot miss this event, November 4th through the 6th in Orlando, Florida. And we are going to have products, people, training, all the networking and the industry here in one place in Orlando, Florida. So don't miss it.
Thank you for listening to the Grit Blueprint podcast. If this episode helped you think a little differently about how to show up, share it with someone in your building world who needs it. If you're ready to turn visibility into growth, then head to gritblueprint.com to learn more and book a call to talk to us about your growth strategy. Until next time, stay unmistakable.